Good morning, gamers. Should I just like not shave for the rest of the month? No. Oh, a lot better. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to another question. So saying question and answer, we just put them together. Question. Hey guys, welcome back to Question, the show where I answer your questions. Question numero uno. Yes. Randy when he trying to justify reworking entire part of his game. Alright guys, good news, right? We're actually doing a little bit of a rework on the entire game. We're moving from C down into assembly. There's just something so pure about the instructions at such a low level like that. It's just, we're just simplifying things further so that in the future, we can never get a game done. Jobii Chan, I've been trying to learn data-oriented programming for a while now. I kind of understand the concept, but it lacks on real code. Can you give some examples in your code? Yes. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to explain in a short time for this video, but basically I can give you a few little examples of where I've used it. So this right here, pretend this is C code. It's actually Metadesk, exact same as C basically, but obviously it's just the Metadesk scripting language. So right here, this is our core application. We have something called run data. And this right here is just a big struct of all the data that I need for doing runtime operations on a game. The best example of the data in here would be just the list of entities. So the common misconception about data-oriented programming compared to object-oriented is that data-oriented is just so much more complicated, there's so much more to it, you gotta learn all this new thing, but it's like, no. Object-oriented in comparison is so much more overcomplicated and convoluted and has so many more unnecessary steps in it. What it actually boils down to is, this is just a lot more simple. We have a massive array of every single entity in the game, which is of size 2048. And then each of those entities have every single possible state that that entity can have. And we've just got all the data in here. So we're not creating new objects on the fly and then calling the constructor, putting all that data in through there, setting it up, make sure we're calling the destructor so the memory doesn't get leaked. Up front, we're being like, yo, this right here, run data, this is all the memory we'll ever need. So the only thing you have to care about allocating and deallocating is run data. It's just one big object, if you will. So that's probably the best example I can think of. Obviously, it's going to be really hard to communicate all of this. There's a lot happening in here, right? So the best thing I can recommend for learning about data-oriented programming, data-oriented design, DOD, is this bad boy right here. You don't actually have to go out and grab the book. It's actually completely free online, link in the description. But if you do want to go and grab a book, it's nice to... Books are lovely. I'll actually chuck an Amazon affiliate link down in the description as well if you want to go use that. Basically, work your way through that bad boy. And there's just so much good shit in here, so much good design philosophies, if you will, that will set you on the right track, at least. And then if you want an actual working example of how I've kind of taken all that, I've literally only read through about, I would say, half of this book. I actually need to go through, read it all, and write up a summary on it. So I think that might actually be my next blog post, is summarizing this book for you. So yeah, look forward to that. But if you do want a bit of a live code-based example, you can actually look at the Arcana source code if you become a member on the website, or if you have a Twitch Prime gaming subscription, which I'm sure you've heard about on the other video by now. Hope that was somewhat useful. Probably not, but I hope. Next question. How are you? Tio? It was such a good feeling just uploading that latest video and hitting the publish button. It was just a culmination of like a whole month's worth of work. That was really quite something special. So I'm having a bit of a day off today, you know, answering some of your questions. It doesn't make sense to say answering some of your questions because that's a question and an answer. Then I'd be answering the question and the answer. But I'm not answering the question and the answer. I'm just answering the question. I'm doing well though. I'm trying to think of a good answer that isn't just I'm doing well. I'm really looking forward to getting this next video sorted actually. Like I'm deadass so keen to get back to work. I've just been editing that video for the last week. It was an absolute monster of an edit. My God. I will show you the timeline for it actually. So yeah, I'm glad that's over and done with, I guess. And I'm really excited to move on to the next video, start streaming again, do the highlights again, and just get some goddamn work sessions in. So I'm looking forward to that quite a lot. We've just gone into lockdown here in Brisbane, which is a bit unfortunate, or the entirety of Queensland. And I was going to relax a little bit more and, you know, have a house party and shit, but it's not looking like that's gonna be happening anytime soon. Anyway, this is the whole goddamn timeline. 20 minutes worth of video. 21 minutes and 30 seconds. Just hitting that publish button in the end, it's like, oh, no better feeling. On to the next one though. Onwards and upwards. And we got a similar kind of question. Alex Basic Dev, what's going on in that reptile gamer brain of yours right now, Tom? Oh, so I've got my lease coming to an end at this place in about a couple months. I think it's like end of September or something. And I've been reading Deep Work by Kel Newport, right? You guys already know that. And there was a chapter in there that really resonated with me. And it was him talking about essentially just cutting yourself off from the world and off from every single distraction and just knuckling down on one task for an extended period of time. So I'm thinking, right, at the end of this lease, I hop on a plane, fuck off to New Zealand, over in Queenstown, lovely place. And I rent out like an Airbnb or something, or just a house for like 3 months. Completely uninstall all social media, which is, I've actually kind of done that right now. I'm not really on there that much. Completely just cut myself off from everyone. No Discord, no Gmail, no Slack, no nothing. And just work for 3 months straight on the game. Not even make any videos on it. Just make one big 3-month long video, like one big fucking magnum opus. I think that would be amazing. So that's what's front and center in my mind at the moment. I'm quite excited to do that. My only issue is the NZ Australia travel bubble just kind of opened up a couple weeks back, right? I think it was about a month ago actually. But now with all these new cases fucking everywhere in Australia, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna struggle getting over there. So that might be a little bit tricky. If I can't go to Queenstown though, I'm probably just gonna find a place here in Australia somewhere in Queensland, ideally somewhere on like a farm, nature, nice and isolated. Really just knuckle down and get some stuff done. I won't be streaming in that time or doing any highlights or anything, unfortunately, because that's all I want to focus on is just getting that game done. Not done, but worked on a lot. And I think something nice will come out of that, so looking forward to that. Aside from that though, nothing else really. Kashuzu, how far away is the underlying mechanics from you being able to start messing around with gameplay and mapping and level design? Excellent question. As soon as I finish this animation system, the whole game is my fucking oyster, baby. Those are all the underlying technologies in place, and I'm actually gonna be able to start working on game design, putting in some actual game loops, story, just everything. Like working on an actual game, it's gonna be so much fun. So yeah, the whole reason I've gone down this big 3D animation system thing, for those of you who don't know, is because, well, I'm a strong believer of building out really, really solid foundations, right? This actually answers the game engine question that you guys are probably here for. So I'm just gonna go over that right now. All right, that was a big one. Vanachi? Do you think you'll work on another game after Arcana is finished? Probably not. The plan is to make such a good game that I can never ever live up to the expectations of creating another game after that. And then push it out, dip, move on with my life. When VR gets mainstream, I might actually want to do a VR game. I think that'd be kind of cool. Kick it up a dimension, you know? You know, like Sword Art Online? Yeah, make that. I'm sure a lot of other people want to do that though. But are they going to be able to do it better than me? That's the question. They're going to release the game on Steam. The plan is to release the game for free on my website. Kind of like pay whatever you want for it, right? You go through, play the game, you finish it. If it's good, go to the website, chuck a cheeky little donation. I just want to make it accessible for absolutely everyone. They don't have to cough up like $10. They can just download it and see if they like it first. So yeah, it might go on Steam, just as free to play, just because it's like a platform, right? But in terms of like a Nintendo Switch port, that'll obviously need to be paid like $10 in store or something, because you can't physically sell a free game in store. But yeah, whatever consoles it gets ported to, those will need to be paid, but it'll just be like 10, 20 bucks or something like that. Do you see the game having strong narrative elements, or would the play be left to their own devices for the most part, like Minecraft? No, strong narrative is very much going to be a clear beginning, middle, and end. I'm not going to spoil the end, but the end's going to be great. It will very much be an end. Not a Minecraft end where you jump through the fucking portal and it does a scrolling text and then you back into Minecraft and you keep on playing. But a very clear, definitive end is all I'm gonna say. So many questions this episode. You guys are going ham. By the way, if you've got questions that need answering, head on over to the subreddit, link it down in the description. There'll actually be a thread for question number 3. So yeah, if you've got any good questions, there you go. Or even if you just want to post memes, I'm happy to go over the memes as well. Because who doesn't love a good meme? What are your thoughts on Dion? So C isn't a perfect programming language. As much as I love it, as much as it is probably the best programming language out there at the moment, purely in terms of simplicity and being at that low level, there is a big problem with kind of every single programming language nowadays. And C suffers from that exact same problem. I'm not too sure how Dion's going at the moment. I think just a lot more research needs to go into it before they kind of go balls deep on it. Yeah, definitely going to be switching to that if it does at all come out and have kind of like a stable workflow with it. How are you feeling about general direction in life, big man? Seems like you're knuckling down on the game by turning Twitch chat off and getting into the self-help universal man stuff. Hope you're all good, bro. So yeah, I'm actually doing really, really well, especially recently with reading deep work and kind of just knuckling down on everything. I'm going in a really good direction. I saw this meme the other day and that's pretty much exactly how I feel. Number 1, how do you create such banging playlists? Like music? I don't know. I don't really know what to say. And then the second question from Echo My Gecko is, what made you choose game development over anything else? What seems to be a common sentiment is that building games can suck the fun out of playing games, and I was curious to hear your personal experience. I've had the exact opposite. I've kind of just stopped playing games because I've been getting way too busy and invested in playing my actual life, if that makes sense. But could be further from the truth. I still absolutely love games. And I actually feel like I love them more because games that I do like are just sources of inspiration for me creating my own game. So I'll be playing this game, I'm like, oh, they did this one mechanic really cool. I'm gonna yoink. Everything in moderation. How do you manage your time and keep focus? Every time I try, my mind wanders and I end up thinking of bullshit for hours. I'd recommend you read this book. There'll be a link to the audiobook and the hard copy in the description. Affiliates as well. Obviously, that's not like a cure-all, but it'll definitely set you in the right direction. Why do you hate OOP so much? I feel like I briefly touched on that, but DOD is a lot faster to write, a lot faster to run. You spend less time actually thinking about how you're gonna solve the problem and more time actually solving the problem. Probably the best way of putting it. Chances of me buying you a beer once COVID is over. Really appreciate the gesture, but I don't drink. More of a hard drugs kind of guy myself. Motivation to dedicate to something is a problem I have, and it seems like something you have thought. And 1, might I ask your progression and steps you've been taking to get where you are, and future steps you are taking to be a better you? Good question. Motivation is a tricky one. There's a lot of elements that go into it, right? So real quick, we'll break down motivation into what it actually is. It's core elements, right? Dopamine. You increase this neurotransmitter, and you're going to have more motivation to act and pursue any goals. Full stop. So if you want to optimize for that, check out the Men of Action series and the dopamine detox. Quite awesome. Link down in the description for that. So that's kind of like the foundations, right? You build solid foundations. I know I've said the word foundation probably 17 times in this video, but it's a good analogy. You build solid foundations, what you build on top of that is going to be so much better. If you're trying to pursue a goal, you don't have good foundations. Maybe your nutrition is all out of whack. You're fucking ordering Uber Eats 24/7. I don't know. Been there, done that. Maybe your sleep's out of whack. That'll fuck you up. Get a good sleep schedule going and make a good quality sleep. Where We Sleep by Matt Walker in the description. But then this particular question is more so, what are we going to pursue once we've got those foundations done? How do we choose what to pursue? And the way I've chosen what to pursue is it's really not logical at all. It's more so something will grip you. Something will grip your attention. You'll be like, I would really love to see that. I'd really love to act on that. I'd really love to just go do that. So I reckon just pay attention to what is gripping you throughout the day. Maybe you'll be going through your day and an idea will pop in your head, or you're doing an activity, or you're doing a hobby or something, and it's like, wow, this is really cool, and you're just really engaged in that. There's this whole idea of something called ikigai. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but that's okay. So that's right here. What you love doing. Something that grips you, right? What you are good at. What you can be paid for. What the world needs. And right at the center of all 4 of these circles is ikigai. So you're trying to find that. And it's not easy because, of course, it's different for every single person. In my experience, over time, I've just kind of built up an audience and creating YouTube videos, and then eventually I got lucky and that big video blew up. So yeah, then after that I was able to start a Patreon and have you guys come and support me over there, which is goddamn amazing. I appreciate every single fucking one of you. You are literally the reason I am here today saying this sentence. Love you. So yeah, that's how I've done it, and obviously the whole reason I'm doing game dev is because I love video games. I would be playing video games in my teenage years and being like, this is really cool. I like how they've done this one mechanic, or I don't like how they've done this one mechanic. So then one day I was actually playing DayZ standalone, right? And I was like, they haven't made any updates to this game. It's so fucking long. I hate how long they're taking to get this game out. I reckon I could go do a better job. And that's literally what started my entire game development career. I was like, I want to make DayZ, but I want to make it better than the current DayZ. Because I was pissed off, because I was playing the game and I really wanted to enjoy it. It was a great game. I sunk a lot of hours into it, but it just stagnated, and to this day it has stagnated still. So I set out to make DayZ 2, the sequel. And then I was like, all right, so maybe a 3D game like DayZ is probably a bit of an ambitious project for a first time game. So I'm like, you know what? Let's make a Terraria clone instead. I like Terraria. Then I set out to make a Terraria clone, and then eventually it turned into not Terraria, and it's the game today that you guys don't really see, because all you see is my raw foundations being laid out. So I apologize for that, but one day you will see a proper game come into fruition, which will be after this month comes out, after this devlog is over and done with. We'll have everything that we need to put some gameplay in. I'm quite excited for that. I hope that answers your question, Mr. fucking sprinkle looking ass. There's a lot more questions in here, but unfortunately I'm kind of running out of time. This video is getting pretty goddamn long. So if you have a question you'd like answered, go over to the Reddit, chuck it in the thread, and upvote the ones that you do want to see answered, and I will just peel from the top and we'll go from there. Anyway, boys and girls, whatever it is you're trying to pursue, I hope you go find your ikigai. It's out there. It's out there calling for you. Just gotta find what it is. It's not gonna happen overnight, but it will happen if you keep working at it. Go get him, boys! By the way, if you want to help me eat and I've got the disposable income, it's only $5 a month. You get all these rewards. Rain.gg/fund. That would help me out so goddamn much. Appreciate all you who do.